Be advised that depending on the make and model number of any given robot, there may be certain features in their makeup which predispose them to antisocial behavior. It is best to avoid these robots or to limit the time you are in contact with them. If a robot has locked its targeting system on you, remember the SKS rule. Stop, kneel, and surrender.
Hello, you're listening to the Kapow Radio Show Network on Blog Talk Radio. Please visit kapowradioshow.com for further information.
Lord, Lord, now can't you see? Trouble and evil are surrounding me. Death and pain for the wicked world's fate, but the righteous and just shall live by the faith.
Well, hello, Ms. Kapow.
Well, hello.
I believe it's Friday, May 23rd, 2014.
You're correct.
Star date 6. That's right. You know what? We have a disgusting show today.
We sure do.
It's always disgusting, but today's really disgusting.
Because it has to do with children.
Yep.
I hate these stories.
This is, I want to call this the assault on the children.
Okay.
The assault on the children, because we have, I don't know if we can get through all the stories or not, but this week it's just, I had to ignore almost everything else because of the crazy, demonic, evil activity targeted towards little kids.
Yeah. And even Justin had a good story about on his show about children.
The vampire rabbis was just
disgusting.
Unbelievable.
Disgusting.
I never heard of such a thing until I heard it on the Fourth Watch.
Yep.
We are so out of control.
Yeah.
This world, this society is gone mad. And we're going to open up with this first story, and then we're going to play a clip. And when you listen to the newscasters talk about sex change drugs given to little kids. Now, these are newscasters here in America.
Yep.
This is Fox News.
Yeah.
Fox News. When you hear them casually talk about these things, it's like they're talking about
a kid getting a haircut.
Yeah.
You don't like it? It goes back and get another one.
It's totally irreplaceable. When you can figure out who you want to be, then we just quit taking the drugs and
you're fine.
Yeah. You grow hair on your face and you're good. It's just unbelievable. You have a scripture about this, don't you?
Matthew 18:4-7, and it says, "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receives me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged around his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offense comes." And then 1 Timothy 4:1 says, "Now the Spirit speaks expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, and having their conscience seared within hot iron."
Wow. You know what's driving so much of this is this demonic sex. Demonic sex. It's just driving it. It's my opinion, my personal opinion, that when the angels came down, the watchers came down and took on human form and impregnated these women with their evil seed, their dark counterfeit spirit. In other words, they altered the DNA, they altered the spirit of humans. One of the best ways demons transfer is through sexual contact.
Yep.
There's a lot of ways they transfer, but one of the better ways they do is through this. All the dietary laws about eating blood and about idolatry all point to avoiding demonic infestation. Yes, thank you. And sexual transmission is one of the easiest and best ways to do this.
Yeah.
And plus, it plays on the human desire to procreate and, have whoopee. It plays on that. Whereas,
It plays on their flesh.
Whereas, the eating of blood and necessary worship of idols
Could be repulsive.
Yeah, you have to do a little more trickery. And it's just, we're living in an age of demonic sexual sex. It's just out of control.
It's demonic religion.
Yes. They worship, the whole world is worshiping their jai and their pee-pee. There, I said it. I'll say it again.
Jai and pee-pee.
You said it for me.
Let's get to the story.
Okay, this first disgusting story is from BretHart.com. 9-year-old children could be given sex change drugs by Britain's NHS. I believe NHS for Britain is like their National Health Service.
Yes.
What it says here is that the NHS could give drugs to children as young as 9. Why, Ms. Kapow?
To prepare them for sex change surgery. The treatment, which halts puberty, will be aimed at children who believe they are of the wrong gender.
At 9 years old? At 9 years old, they go, I don't think I should be a little girl. I think I'm a boy. And
That's ludicrous.
So they can make that decision at that age, and then their stupid parents will give them drugs to prevent their puberty, so then they can really decide.
Yep.
Is that insane?
That is.
That's
and at 9 years old,
insanity.
because they're expecting children to start their adolescence at an earlier age.
Yes.
Girls are having their menstruation around 9 years old, 10 years old. I know of a girl, 10 years old, and she just started her menstruation.
That's
young.
Yeah, apparently it's like
2 years.
A year or 2 years earlier than it was 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So something is changing.
And I believe
in
it's
the human
in the
genome,
in the food, in our nutrition, and in the vaccinations. I really do. I think that's changing our chemistry.
Something is definitely awry. Well, doctors at this NHS Foundation have completed a 3-year trial involving 12 and 14-year-olds in which they assessed the psychological, social, and physical benefits and risks involved in using drugs. The trial was deemed such a success that the drugs will now be rolled out across the country and given to different age groups.
Wow.
There's this chief doctor there from the trial who said decisions about when to administer the drug will depend on the stage of sexual development of the child. Dr. Polly Carmichael. She said, we're talking about stopping puberty in the normal range of puberty, so I guess the younger age might be 10 or 9.
Wow. Scientists have found that puberty is starting early in Western children. The average age for the American girls is now 9 years and 10 months, a year earlier than 15 years ago. And critics have blasted the decision as playing God. However, conservative MP Andrews Percy told the Mail on Sunday, I think many people will be horrified at the thought of a 9-year-old being provided with a drug that effectively stops them developing and maturing naturally.
Wow. This is absolutely crazy. There are concerns, obviously, that prepubescent children are far too young to know whether they are really transgender or not.
Yeah.
But they're discussing it like this is it's just an option. It's like, are they too young to decide they want a bowl cut on their head, or do they want, weave?
Yeah.
No, you're 9 years old. You can't have a weave. You can't decide that. I mean, that's how they're talking about it.
Like it's no big deal.
This one bioethicist said, putting children on puberty-blocking hormones may, for some, cement the idea they are transgender when perhaps they are not.
Yeah, of course.
This is amazing. It is amazing. I think we should go and play the clip, because the clip is
says it.
from here.
Yeah.
And you can listen to these idiots. There are two women newscasters, and the guy that's talking is a, I don't know, bioethicist, or he's one of those idiot doctors. Dr. Frankenstein is his name. Here it is.
On Fox 2 News at 9, you heard a powerful story of a 17-year-old Ladue High School student who is transgender. Will Copeland is among a growing number of children in St. Louis taking advantage of hormone suppression. Fox 2's Mandy Murphy continues her special report tonight. Really interesting story, Mandy.
Well, Sandy, we're talking about children who go through psychological testing and have no doubt in their mind that they were born in the wrong body. Meaning in Will's case, he was born female, but his brain tells him he's male. The top doctor in the country came to St. Louis to help educate our medical community about how to treat these kids.
It creates even levels.
Dr. Norman Spack was one of the first doctors in the United States to tackle the medical problem of treating transgender kids. 1 in 5 of his patients at Boston Children's Hospital had tried to self-mutilate or commit suicide because of the effects of puberty on their bodies. He and doctors in St. Louis are now giving children like Will Copeland hormone blockers to stop puberty.
At the very beginnings of the pubertal process, we're talking about girls aged 10 to 12, boys aged 12 to 14, then odds are so overwhelming that they will hold on to that belief for the rest of their life.
If the children don't get the hormone blockers before age 16, it's too late.
In order to pass as somebody in the gender of female, you really want to stop the very much more pronounced facial bone structure, Adam's apple, voice change.
The goal is not to do anything permanent with these children until they are absolutely certain that they were born the wrong gender.
We can shut it all down, and it's totally reversible. And so we get an additional 4 or 5 years in which we can continue to assess, counsel, evaluate, and test that youngster to be sure whether they are a candidate for the irreversible treatment of giving them the hormones of the opposite sex.
At St. Louis Children's Hospital, Dr. Abby Hollander has seen the number of children coming to her for treatment of gender dysphoria skyrocket in the last 5 years.
I could count them on one hand, but even in the last 6 months, I've had at least 8 new referrals, and I'm currently following at least a dozen kids with gender dysphoria who are in various stages of puberty.
Kim Hutton's 10-year-old son was born a female, but she says he immediately knew he was born in the wrong body.
As soon as he could string the words to tell me, he said, "I, a boy," at 2 years and 8 months old, and he's never wavered.
Kim co-founded the group Transparent.
We started 2 years ago in September with 4 families, and we have 57 families today. So, and with really no advertising.
What does this tell you about transgender kids in St. Louis?
There's a lot more out there than we even know about.
Doctors attribute the growing number of transgender children seeking medical treatment to public awareness and acceptance. Sandy?
So if these kids stop taking the hormone suppressors, what happens?
They would immediately go into puberty of their birth gender.
Okay.
So it is reversible, and they would have more permanent surgeries later in life, but it is reversible and gives them time to make sure this is exactly what they want to do. And we have much more of Dr. Spack's interview, the full interview, on our website, Fox 2 Now.
Enough of these twiddling little idiots.
I know. They make it sound they're so nonchalant with it.
And I love the way she explains it at the end. Mm-hmm. What it is there's nothing wrong, is that they can take these drugs, and then it gives them a few more years to decide whether they're transgender or not. And if they don't, then they quit taking the drugs, and there's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, how do you know that? There's got to be repercussions.
It's not
not even physically, it would be emotionally and spiritually.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just let the sunshine in, baby. It's not just the pharmaceuticals that get me. It's the tude. Mm-hmm. It's just the casualness. This just happens recently.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like this last year.
No.
People weren't talking about this stuff this casually last year.
No. So what happened?
Yeah, it's like Miss Kapow talk about. We used to say, hey, we're spinning in the toilet bowl. Mm-hmm. We're in the ceramic spin here, folks.
Yeah. We're not down spinning anymore.
We're done spinning. We are in the tube.
The tube.
We are heading right to the poop bin. Mm-hmm. Right into the septic system.
Yep. Ew.
It's an assault on our children.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. This next one is ABC News. A student 9 and 12 arrested for allegedly poisoning their teacher.
The behavior.
And we've heard these kind of stories before.
Mm-hmm. The behavior of some of these kids is just out of control. They're evil. There's no parenting. There's no respect. There's nothing. They're just...
Well, the parents deny that their children would even do something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the teacher is left without any support from either the parents or the school administration.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. If I was a teacher, I wouldn't be putting my food or anything where those kids can get a hold of it.
No, I'd be
Remember there was a story about these kids that were putting hand sanitizer in their teacher's water.
Yes.
It's crazy. This one says 2 elementary grade students. Wow,
that's pretty good. They're pretty smart.
They're very smart. No, 2 elementary grade students in Brooklyn, New York have been arrested and charged with poisoning a teacher by putting rat-killing chemicals in her water bottle.
Wow, rat poison.
The teacher, who has not been identified, brought the water bottle to principal's office on Monday and then went to her doctor to be checked. The New York school system said today the teacher is at home recovering from,
whatever
the poison.
These 2 kids are 9 and 12, right here in New York City, and they're arrested after a parent of another student called the school to say her child witnessed one of these monsters putting something in the teacher's water bottle.
Yeah, and apparently the 9-year-old is the one that got the poison.
That's what's amazing. Mm-hmm. It said, it was administered by the younger boy who was assisted by the older doofus. And then when they were interviewed, the boys wanted to see, here's what they said, they wanted to see what would happen to the teacher.
Wow.
And he also said it was the 9-year-old who procured the rat poison.
The students have been charged with criminal possession of a weapon, which is the rat pellets, reckless endangerment, and attempted assault, and they will be treated as juveniles. So nothing's going to happen.
No, you know what? And I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna really anger a lot of listeners that have children, and that their parents, and and they're all these, these happen, and bad parents. They're gonna really say things, but so I'm gonna say this, and I know I'm gonna really piss people off. These kids should just be cold. Their little necks should be broken. No. It's Old Testament law.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, in the Old Testament, they did stuff like that.
How about you, Brother Kapow? You were never little. I never tried to kill my teacher with poison.
These are Damians.
Yeah, these are demon-possessed kids. So I just pissed everybody off that has little brats that, they want to protect. But, so what? What can you say? These kids should be cold. They're horrible.
This next story is from CBS Chicago. Dad gets restraining order against a 5-year-old who is accused of bullying his daughter.
Yeah,
and after you read the story, you can understand why, because he's not getting any help.
No, the headline sounds like, "What are you a wuss? What are you doing?" But then when you read it, there's some real issues here.
Yeah, a Wisconsin father has taken out a restraining order against a 5-year-old boy who he claims has been bullying his 6-year-old daughter. The Dave Berner reports Brian Metzger said his daughter was threatened and attacked by one of her classmates at Prairie Lane Elementary School in Pleasant Prairie. Oh, that sounds so nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He said his daughter used to love kindergarten but doesn't want to go to school anymore. He said his daughter told him that the boy said, "I want to slit your throat and watch you bleed."
See, that is not...
This is a 5-year-old boy saying
normal.
This to a little 6-year-old.
Exactly. Christina commented on this, and who's raised kids and has some really good insight on this stuff. But Christina says, a 5-year-old boy, when they're fighting with somebody else, they say stuff like, shut up, you poo face, and type of thing. They don't talk about slitting your throat and watching you bleed. And also, Josh made a comment too that you have to look at this home. We're 5 years old. Honest, he's not just laying awake at night going, "Oh, I think I'm going to say this." He's getting this somewhere.
Yeah.
Josh is probably right. He's probably being abused himself. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable. This poor little girl has been harassed by the boy for the whole school year, but the school failed to protect the kid.
That's not right.
The man says, "I think they should have done something a lot sooner. They've kept him in the same classroom as my daughter throughout this whole deal until last Wednesday." He filed a police report alleging his daughter was kicked in the face and had rocks and sand thrown at her. He also obtained a temporary restraining order against the boy. Now the school has since taken the boy, out of the girl's classroom, but he wants the boy thrown out of the school altogether.
Yeah.
But man, I'm telling you, and I know CPS are a bunch of doofus and they do all kinds of weird stuff too. So I don't know where to turn on this, but someone's got to look at that's
but
not.
See, but that's what's bad
normal.
when the authority doesn't take responsibility and do the right thing.
Yeah.
Then the parent. What is a parent supposed to do?
Yeah.
This is where you have problems.
Then bad things happen.
Exactly.
Because of lack of government. Because what we have here, from the city level to the county level to the state level to the federal level, what you have here is a bunch of circus clowns. They're a bunch of mismanaged circus clowns that don't know what the hell they're doing in leadership or management, and they're just getting
because they're trying to be politically correct.
Yes.
And they have no, and they compromise.
Yes.
They have no moral standards. And then this is what you have. They don't care about your children.
They're just getting their little stupid, county, city, federal, state paycheck, and they go, "Communism is good. Communism is good."
Yeah.
A bunch of socialist freaks. It's just a sideshow.
Now, this next story is actually a video of a young, huge black boy who pushes his teacher because she took away his phone.
Yeah, this came from Christina too. She sent this to us. This is interesting.
It was very
because it happened there in Houston.
And then nobody came to her rescue.
Yeah, the other
kids. All they cared about was filming it on their.
Well, the video shows this, and he's huge. He's like
16 years old.
6'3", 325 pounds. He's a big kid. And the substitute teacher, is a 66-year-old grandma,
Yeah.
And I guess she took away his phone. Bad. And you see on the video him shoulder bumping her. And then she tries to walk past him, and he does it like twice. The third time he just pushes her, but he puts that 325 pounds into that push, and she goes flying.
Yeah.
And
it's terrible.
And then all the kids in the class are cheering, and someone's filming it. It's probably good that they filmed it, but that's not the reason why they're filming it for a criminal investigation.
With, look at this.
Well, they want it to go viral, on YouTube. So this is in Houston. A 16-year-old student at Nimitz High School was so upset with his substitute teacher for taking his Obama phone. His Obama phone? Is that what it says? It might as well have. He pushed her to the ground. The video shows a student strolling in his Obama wheelchair. His Obama scooter? Who's described as a 6'3", 325 Obama voter. I don't know who wrote this article. I'm shocked.
Shocking.
I'm appalled. He's standing up and pushing the teacher 3 times. On the third time, the 66-year-old woman fell to the ground. We have a school policy that we can't use phones. We can't use phones during the day. So she was right to take his phone. You think?
Well, why don't they just confiscate that stuff before they enter the classroom?
Yeah. Put it in a big bucket.
Start school. You know what I'm saying?
For him to act that way, it isn't worth it, said student Dahia Owen. The police say the teenager was using his phone in class. He's probably talking to his peeps, what's up, girl? What's up, girl? It's Big JJ here. I'm on my Obama phone. And then he got physical with the substitute teacher to get it back. Now, the substitute teacher confiscated the cell phone from this dude, and the student wanted it back, and he got up and he shoved her right in the ground. So that ain't good.
And then the student actually walked himself to the principal's office and turned himself in.
Good for him.
He was charged with injury to the elderly, but his name is being withheld because of his because he's a minor.
Yeah. Boy, it's amazing. So the teacher was rushed to the hospital with some injuries and released a short time. Later, there's no word whether she or the student will return to class. I'll tell you what, that's the golden banana right there.
That is.
Right there, that's the golden banana. That's when you go down to Klockman, Goldman, and Heinstein.
That's right.
On personal injury attorney. And you go in there and you go, I want my golden banana award. I slipped on it. How many millions are you going to pay me? And then you get a little beach house on the Bahamas, and you drink margaritas and smoke ganji.
Exactly.
And you tell the story about how this idiot,
yeah, you use it for your own advantage.
Bought you this condo. That's not the Lord talking. That's Brother Kapow talking. In the flesh. Well, just say it like it is, man. I'm not going to be lying and be phony to you, folks. It's what it is.
It is what it is. San Francisco Bay Area, CBS News. Inner city Oakland youth suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. This is amazing.
This chapped my chaps.
Yeah.
This chapped my chaps. It really got me because, I spent a lot of years policing the ghettos. And this really is irritating.
Well, it's the whole political correctness of this racial crapola.
Oh yeah.
And you could see right through it. And that's what makes it so annoying.
It's now a disease.
Yeah.
Because you live in a bad neighborhood and act like a clown.
It's an insult to all the war veterans that actually do have PSDC.
Yeah.
PSD.
Oh yeah.
SD.
Or crazy policemen
PTSD.
that have it.
Yeah.
The other thing that it's an insult to is there's a lot of people, good people, that come out of the ghetto. They work hard. They go to school in horrible environments. I have an uncle who's one.
Yeah.
My Uncle Stevie was raised in East L.A. And was a gang member. And my Uncle Albert, God rest his soul, was the same way, but they didn't pick on him because Stevie protected him.
Yep.
I said, leave him alone. But they got out.
They got out, and they've got respectable jobs.
Yeah.
Families. Yeah.
I mean, so there's a lot of kids that, they go to that Michelle Pfeiffer school. That she's, Michelle Pfeiffer wants to teach the ghetto kids, how to go on. Then she puts a do-rag on. Then they start dancing and singing songs. And there's only one kid that said, man, we don't like you, Whitey Michelle. Then they get in a big fight, but then she starts talking the talk, and when they get in a fight, and then they respect her, and then they all get A's, and they win the national competition.
Yeah.
That movie, that's the one I'm talking about. The Stand and Deliver movie?
Yes.
With James Olmos, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's in Oakland. Now, Oakland, if you know anything about Oakland, it's a pit.
It's a pit.
In the inner city, a health problem.
Of course.
Check out the language. Is making it harder for young people to learn. Duh. You know what the health problem is? You know what it is, in my opinion? It's called brain damage. You got brain damage individuals. That's the health crisis. Inner city kids suffer post-traumatic stress disorder. Are you serious?
Exactly.
Come on. So now they're going to get Obama meds? They're going to get Obama Valium now?
Might as well.
Health care, free health care because you got PSDD because you were born in the hood. Well, I live out in the California desert, and I should get free pills because I got rattlesnakes.
Oh, look at this, Howard Spivak, MD. He says that youth living in inner cities show a higher prevalence of post-traumatic stress disorder than soldiers. I doubt that.
Stop.
I doubt that.
Oh, you
see? This doctor presented research at a congressional briefing in April 2012 showing that children are essentially living in combat zones. Unlike soldiers, children in the inner city never leave the combat zone and often experience trauma repeatedly.
Well, you know what? Right now, we've got a bunch of soldiers who are dying because the Obama administration and the Veterans Affairs Administration has lost their files or shoveled their files around. It is a death panel. A real-life death panel is going on as we speak, and veterans are dying because they can't get medical aid because the stupid clown government doesn't want to fix them.
Yep.
But you know what? These poor ghetto rats. They'll just it's communism, it's socialism.
Yep.
It's Marxism. Oh, it's just so annoying.
Yep.
It is so annoying. One local expert says national data suggests that 1 in 3 urban youth, see now they're urban youth, they're not ghetto rats, have mild to severe PTSD. You can take anyone who's experiencing the symptoms of PTSD and the things we are currently emphasizing in school will fall off their radar because, frankly, it does not matter in our biology if we don't survive the walk home. And he's a PhD of San Francisco State University.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We could all claim this. You know what? Any mother with a bunch of kids running around, toddlers, could claim PSTD. You could probably claim it from living with me. Come on. Half the Kapow listeners could play it because they're listening to me going, I'm nutty now. I'm nutty listening to this guy just rant and rave every week. I know.
It says in Oakland about 2/3 of the murders last year were actually clustered in East Oakland, where 59 people were killed. Teachers and administrators who graduated from Fremont High School in East Oakland and have gone back to work there spoke with KPIX5. These cards that students are suddenly wearing around their neck that say rest in peace. You have some kids that are walking around with 6 of them. Laminated cards that are tributes to their slashed friends.
Slain friends. They're probably slashed too with some bullet holes added there.
Well, that's how I'm picturing it. Jaliza Collins, also a teacher at Fremont, said, "It's depression, it's stress, it's withdrawal, it's denial. It's so many things that is encompassed and embodied in them. And when somebody pushes that one button where it can be like, please go have a seat, and that can be the one thing that just sets them off."
Just like the doofus who had his cell phone taken and he went off because he couldn't take it no more. You know why? Because he was stressed out from living in the hood there in Houston.
That's right.
The mean streets of Houston.
That's right.
This is just absolutely ridiculous.
Exactly.
Oh man! So I guess they're wearing these rest in peace cards, and so guess what? They're calling it the hood disease. That's what academics are calling it, the hood disease. You know, pretty soon that's not going to be politically correct either, because they're going to diagnose somebody with the hood disease and go, "Man, what are you, racist? Just because you're racist because I'm in the hood?" And then they're going to go, "Oh, we better change the name to post-traumatic neighborhood disorder unlikability effect." Short for bunghole. Come on! Terms like hood disease mean it's someone else's problem, but it's not. That's a lie. It's a collective problem. And the question is, what are we prepared to do about it?
Mow them down.
This Fremont school, they need a James Olmos, or they need a Michelle Pfeiffer. The Michelle Pfeiffer with the do-rag playing the hip-hop. I'm one of you guys, and I'm here to teach you, inner city youth, how to read, how to write, and we're going to pass the national competition. We're going to get A's.
Yeah.
And she's going to have trouble. James almost did.
Oh, yeah.
He had trouble, but he stood and delivered.
Yep.
That's what we need. That's what this movie's about. But no, they didn't succumb. I didn't see James almost go, "Hey, all you guys have hood disease. Sit down." I mean, right? No, he didn't.
They're all laying the groundwork. They're laying the groundwork.
Okay. How about this creepy thing? It's an assault on the children.
Oh, this is nasty.
All this is assault on children. Even calling it hood disease is assault on the children.
A rabbi, scout leader, cop, among 71 arrested in child porn bust. Apparently there's one female involved, a nurse, I believe.
Yes, a nurse.
And but there's like police officer, paramedic, rabbi, an airline pilot, an architect, a Boy Scout leader. They were all caught using the internet to collect and trade child pornography.
Apparently the architect was... oh, man, it escapes me. I was going to say it. Vandelay.
Oh, yes, Vandelay. Little Seinfeld there.
Oh, but... all these people. 6 were among 70 New York area men and 1 woman. It was a 5-week investigation that led to the arrest by Homeland Security. Some of the defendants using search terms like quote unquote real child rape. Oh my Lord.
And family sex.
This is what they were searching in their browsers.
Yep.
They had downloaded thousands of disturbing images on their computers inside suburban homes they shared with their families. The lone woman was accused of allowing another suspect to videotape her son.
Disgusting.
What the heck? Now, I know...
that is disgusting.
I know a lot of these women will give up their kids or whatever
yes.
for money and drugs.
Yes.
Those are people who are suffering from hood disease. But I'm not so sure what a nurse... what the motivation is, but a lot of these pedophiles will befriend a woman. It's amazing because the woman who's usually lonely, they don't, maybe they're kind of frumpy, and this guy will come into their life and be really good to her. But it's the motivation is to get close to the kid and have her do stuff. So it's a big game these pedophiles play, and they're very deceptive. Boy Scout leaders don't surprise me.
No, because they're going to be where the children are.
Exactly. If you're a wolf and you like hens, at once you guard the hen house. I mean, churches have to be really, really careful, too, in vetting out the people who work in Sunday school and work with kids. My suggestion is that everybody be fingerprinted and run through DOJ and a background check, the whole bit, even in churches, because you can't trust anybody, especially when it comes to these pedophiles. They're really, really slick, and that's all they have to do is sit around and think about how to access kids.
Yep, that's true.
You know what I mean? Wow. So anyway, they're federal and state officials, they announced the arrest on Wednesday. They called it one of the largest local roundups ever of people who seek to anonymously share the porn online. And they come from all walks of life. What they're saying is that basically it puts the lie to the classic stereotypical profile that child predators are nothing more than unemployed drifters. This is Boy Scout
they're the
leaders.
neighbor next door to you. They're the clergy.
Yeah.
The police.
Yeah.
Cops.
Judges.
The baker. The candlestick maker. It says authorities say an alarming number of the defendants held positions of trust that gave them access to young children. The Boy Scout leader also coached a youth baseball team, and the rabbi homeschooled his children and others. Another person used hidden cameras to secretly film his children's friends.
Now, wouldn't that gripe your chaps? Wouldn't that really, really gripe you? If you had kids and you're like letting them go over their friend's house, and like I know mom, and I know she's cool and everything, and this perv is videotaping your kids. Oh Lord! We were on an RV trip not too long ago, and it was like dusk, and we saw a mother riding her bike around the park, and she was calling for her child, and there's a certain tone in her voice. There was such fear, and she was calling her child. They even had police there. I mean, it was a big manhunt for this kid. They had to chop her out.
Yeah. But the thing was that her child, she must have been, 7 or 8?
Yeah.
She befriended another child, and she told her mom, I'm going to go over to this friend's house or park or trailer, and the number is blah, blah, blah. Well, the girl had inverted the number. But you would think that this mother would have gone to this place and introduced herself, met with the parents, but she just let her kid go. So when she went, when it was getting dusk, she went to that trailer number that her daughter gave her. Well, it was the wrong one. And when she was calling her kid didn't hear because she was watching television. But this could have been a really dangerous thing.
It could have been very bad. Very bad.
It was very annoying. It was very scary. It was very scary. I was afraid for that child.
I'll never forget the sound of this mother's voice.
It was awful.
As she was riding her bike, screaming her daughter's name at the top of her lungs. Then all of a sudden you saw the sheriffs rolling in a helicopter and stuff.
And it wasn't until after the movie was done, the kid came home.
Yeah.
And that's when they were questioning her. Did you hear Mommy call you? Blah, blah. She goes, no, we're watching TV. The kid had no idea that people were looking for her.
And it was a real narce. It was a real gnarly. No, it was a real nice campground.
Very nice.
And most of these places very family oriented and everything like that. But nonetheless,
security, everything.
Security, but you just don't let your kid go. Oh, I met Tina at the pool, and we're going to go and watch Nemo at her place without making it face to face with mom and dad.
Exactly.
Maybe mom and dad are okay, but little brother isn't. Come on.
Yeah, be more slick than that.
Yeah. But I'm glad I don't have little ones at all, because I don't trust anybody. They would never go outside.
This is from Charisma News. Watchman on the wall.
I believe Heather sent us this, our reporter in the field. Take it away.
All righty. So, what do you think would happen if Christians sent every secondary school in America a copy of a book filled with testimonies of the power of God? I reckon it would wind up in a circular file met with lawsuits from secularists, humanists, and atheists, and otherwise set off Antichrist fireworks. But it seems fine and good for the British Humanist Association to send their own handbook to every secondary school in England and Wales. Indeed, these handbooks of disbelief were distributed to students in the name of free thinking.
This is crazy.
The Young Atheist Handbook, which is subtitled Lessons for Living a Good Life Without God, tells the story of Alam Shah, now a science teacher. Shah was raised as a Muslim in London. When his mother died, he rejected Islam and accepted atheism wholeheartedly. Now he wants others to reconsider what they believe.
That's something. This is a book. The Young Atheist Handbook, which is subtitled Lessons for Living a Good Life Without God, is going to be distributed to the public school system.
Dear God. And you know what? They're right. If there was a counterpart of that book with about God and Christ Jesus, there would be an uproar.
Oh, yeah.
An absolute uproar.
You can't send this. This is the Bible. Blah, 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 blah. You can't tell people what to do. Oh, yeah. What a double standard, huh? It's absolutely demonic. Shah, the character in the book, believed in the false religion of Islam. And like many Christians who lose loved ones, Shah probably felt his God let him down by allowing his mother to die. And then he got angry. But of course, his God could not comfort him in a time of grief. So he was at a marked disadvantage compared to Christians who experienced loss and the promise of being reunited with their loved ones in heaven. So instead of working through the process in time, Shah turned his back on his God. Then he converted from a false religion to a no religion.
Oh.
Yep. Apparently, anecdotally at least, there is evidence that more Muslims are converting to atheism. Wow. And atheists see Islam as a threat. Though not as threatening as Christianity. Muslims who convert to atheism are themselves in danger, since it's considered apostasy and can come with the death penalty. Wow.
That's interesting, though, why they would...
Yeah. It says, in any case, the atheists seem to be committed to evangelizing for their own God, which is themselves.
Of course.
But anyway, the handbook, the Atheist Handbook, is going to be distributed in these, schools. So that's something. Well, it's a war on the kids.
Yep.
A war on the kids. This is sad,
Scary.
too. This is from Boston, CBS Boston. This is insanity. You talk about an assault on the children by these evil, demonic nephews.
Yep. It says here that more than 10,000 toddlers are medicated for ADHD.
Toddlers.
Yep.
Isn't the whole idea of being a toddler being brain damaged?
Yes, of course.
They're brain damaged humans because they haven't
Bill Cosby
developed.
talks about that.
Yeah, he does. And then my lip is down here. Yeah, he
so
talks about
funny.
the kid coming down.
But he calls it. He said his kids were brain damaged.
Yeah, he in the kitchen.
Because that's what children are.
Well, yeah, they at 2
They're
or 3 years old, they're
you know.
developing. They're a blank slate. They don't have that, so they're brain damaged little humans. That's what makes them cute.
Yep.
But you're going to give them medication because you say now they have ADHD? This is just total onslaught.
It's terrible.
It's a total onslaught on the... What they're doing is let's go get the youth while they're young and totally destroy them. So by the time they become
so you can see what the
slave
the
age...
future that they want for the world.
Yeah.
You know, what the New World Order really is about.
It's just a slave race. A compliant, drugged up, stupid, de-evolved slave race.
Yep.
And they're almost
That's
there.
what they want, yeah.
You know, because it's not just the kids. There's many adults that are like that now. But this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible.
Boston CBS says there are an alarming number of toddlers given medication for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. More than 10,000 American 2- and 3-year-olds are now being medicated for ADHD.
Wow.
Experts say it's not only appalling, it's irresponsible.
You think?
Developmentally, you're supposed to be scattered and disorganized as a toddler.
Thank you.
This is from Dr. Nancy Rappaport. She also says that she has been diagnosing and treating children with ADHD for more than 20 years and says she doesn't treat children under 6 with medication and certainly not under 4, especially since stimulant medications like Ritalin and Adderall haven't been studied in children that young. Under 6 years old, you give a child medication. They're exquisitely sensitive to medications, so they may be more likely have irritability, trouble sleeping, and you're not addressing the difficulty of a child concentrating.
I like this. The report also showed that lower income toddlers are more likely to receive stimulants than their wealthier peers. What is that about?
Yeah.
But experts say instead of jumping to a diagnosis of ADHD in these children, let's take a look at the home life first. Once again, going back to the home, but that's interesting how the poor are just be given medication. Sometimes poor families may have trauma, neglect, or parent substance abuse, and in those situations, you may have children who have trouble focusing or run out of the classroom. That's because of the underlying trauma that's going on in their life, and they're signaling the difficulty they're in. That's what Rappaport says. So she thinks ADHD, and I agree with her, is often overdiagnosed.
Yep.
It
Just
exists.
everybody has it.
Yes.
It's like when we go to the doctor, remember when I was having that stress?
Yeah.
They just figured, oh, you're going through stress. Here, take some medication. It was a antidepressant.
Yeah, Prozac or something. Stress. Same thing happened.
They just give
same
it
thing
to
happened
you.
to me.
Yeah.
When my heart started over palpitating, and here, take some. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember it either.
Xanax or something like that. It's like, man, I take that.
No, but just put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Oh man, this is just horrible. I have a niece, and when she was little, I don't know how old Charlotte was when they started giving her Ritalin.
I don't know.
And they diagnosed her as being hyperactive, and she was crazy. She was crazy as a kid, but she was just a kid. She was a kid. She was brain dead, and she was real active and real crazy, and she had they called it a strong will, you know, and I don't know. Her mama married some idiot cowboy truck driving fool, just an ignorant redneck guy, and this guy broke her, just broke her.
Yeah.
And she was on Ritalin, and she was messed up for years.
She was.
I mean, her whole bowel system got clogged up. She couldn't take a bowel movement. She was messed up. It probably wasn't for my parents, her grandparents loving her and helping her out with that. She probably would have died. Because they were just feeding her this stuff, and
that's what they're doing to our kids now.
She's a highly intelligent gal and everything, but they really messed with her when she was young on this stuff. Just horrible. Assault on the children and the adults here. I think Josh sent us this. It's porn in U.S., a public health crisis. This irritates me as much as the hood disease.
Yeah.
Because now it's a health crisis.
Yeah.
Seriously? Because no one will come out and say we have a spiritual deficit. No one will say that there's spiritual jihad going on.
Of course not.
It's now a public health crisis. I wonder if Obamacare covers that.
Yeah, because to heal a spiritual crisis, you'd need God to do that.
Yeah.
Let's not bring God into the picture.
Oh, no.
Let's just keep it natural.
Yes, because how to live a happy life without God is what we want our kids to read. Pornography in America should be declared a major public health crisis.
The caption under the picture is interesting. It says, porn sites get more visitors per month than Netflix, Amazon, and Twitter combined.
That's amazing.
Woo.
Netflix, Amazon, and Twitter
combined.
That's big business. Pornography now is so widespread in the United States that it deserves to be addressed seriously as a major public health crisis. This is from a panel of activists.
Whoa.
On the eve of a 2-day conference on sexual exploitation, they suggested that porn be tackled in the same manner as teenage smoking or drunk driving. The problem is people don't enjoy smoking and drunk driving as much as they like boinking each other and boinking things.
Yep.
They love that. It's like we opened a show talking about the demonic sexual spirit that drives these people to, parlay their demons to others and to little kids.
Transference.
Absolutely.
Dawn Hawkins is the executive director of Morality and Media, and she has campaigned against pornography since 1962. She says there is an untreated pandemic of harm from pornography. There's a lot of science now proving that pornography is harmful. We know now that almost every family in America has been touched by the harm of pornography.
That's amazing.
Wow.
It's part of the Coalition to End Sexual Exploitation. It was a summit that I guess it opened last Friday or today, I'm not sure, in the Washington suburb of Tyson's Corner. It aims to look at pornography as a complex social problem that needs to be framed as a public health issue.
Wow.
I mean, I understand what they're trying to do, and I support them in that. But to call it a public health issue,
that's not right.
Yeah, you got some, you got other problems. You can't just throw a pill on it.
It says here participants include health professionals, social workers, academics, feminists, faith leaders, campaigners against human trafficking, and former members of the multi-billion-dollar adult entertainment industry.
Wow. This is a business with considerable political clout, said Gail Dines, a sociology and women's study professor at Wheelock College in Boston. She's also the author of Pornland, How Porn Has Hijacked Our Sexuality. It's probably good.
Yep.
Porn sites get more visitors per month than Netflix, Amazon, Twitter combined. A third of all downloads contain porn. And the internet now hosts 4.2 million porn websites, said Dines. She's also the president of the international feminist group to stop porn culture. She says porn is without doubt the most powerful form of sex education today, with studies showing that the average age of first viewing porn is between 11 and 14.
That's crazy.
And see, at age 9 and 10, you can start stopping your hormones. And at between that age, you can start poisoning your teachers.
Yep.
And slitting people's throats and drinking their blood.
We're getting a really ugly picture of our youth, aren't we?
Holy cow. And I know it's compartmentalized.
Yeah.
It's not everybody, but you're really kind of getting a global view, really, of the assault on the kids.
Yes, exactly.
And what the agenda is doing. It's just Luciferian. It's that stupid fallen angel doing stupid fallen angel things before the end.
It's disgusting.
It is amazing. She says, and let me tell you, this is not your father's Playboy that they're watching. These degrading misogynists. I did it! I said it!
Yay!
These degrading misogynist images have become the wallpaper of our lives, and they are robbing young people of an authentic, healthy sexuality that is a basic right of every human being. I have to agree with her, because if you're watching this stuff and you're going, this is the way it is, oh yeah, I want that, you can't have a regular relationship with a regular person.
No, you can't.
I think that's why all these pervs are going to little kids, dogs, ATM machines, parrots, It's crazy. Anyway, it's I like what they're trying to do. I don't think you can frame it under a health crisis. I don't know, what else you can say. What else you can do on this. So
this last one.
Speaking of demonic
disgusting.
sex, let's end with this.
This is from The Smoking Gun. A man was busted for trying to have sex with his ATM. I kid you not.
See, once again, there's nothing with children in this story, but if this guy is willing to have sex with an ATM and a picnic table, he's going to be looking at your children.
Yes.
It's the assault on the kids. I mean, what a fearful world.
But this is the perversion that's out there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what that gal was talking about. It's a public health crisis. I mean, look what this stuff is producing.
It says a Tennessee man was arrested Friday night after he walked into a bar, dropped his pants and underwear, and attempted to have sex with an ATM machine. Lonnie Hutton, he's 49, was collared at the Borough Bar and Grill, the Murfreesboro.
I don't know.
It was a watering hole where he allegedly sought to make a 9 p.m. deposit.
Now, see, the writer of this article made a little funny.
Yeah.
He sought to make a 9 p.m. deposit.
According to the police department report, an officer was dispatched to the bar where a witness said that Hunton walked to the ATM and pulled down his pants and underwear, exposing his genitals. Mr. Hunton then attempted to have sexual intercourse with the ATM. After his encounter with the ATM, Hunton then began to walk nude around the bar, thrusting his hips in the air.
That had to be a sight.
Hutton was subsequently escorted from the bar and told to sit at a wooden picnic table. But once outside the bar, Hutton allegedly again exposed himself and engaged in sexual intercourse with the wooden picnic table.
I wonder if he got splinters.
I could only hope. And it turns gangrene. And the thing falls off.
Yeah.
Seen in the above mugshot, Hutton was booked into the county jail on a public intoxication charge.
Oh, do you think there was booze involved?
I would imagine.
I have a hard time imagining that.
A cop reported that Hutton, who remains locked up in lieu of $250 bond, smelled of booze, had bloodshot eyes, and had slurred teeth. Hutton, who was not charged for exposing himself, is scheduled for a July 1st appearance in the General Sessions Court.
It's interesting that they didn't charge him for anything except drunkenness and disorderly conduct or whatever they did.
Strange.
Maybe they know him.
Disgusting.
I can't resist this. It's kind of funny. Some of these comments, the people who commented on this story they're pretty funny. This one guy says, El Cabong says, after years of being screwed by the bank for fees, he's just returning the favor. Oh, man. Oh, there's some other ones I can't read. Ronnie Dorinsky says, I heard he got charged an early withdrawal fee. That's a pretty good one. And his account was short. Oh, man. This guy says, Harry by Ben says, ATMs, picnic tables? Wait till he discovers women. And Bruce says, he already did. Oh, man. This guy says, Mickey Buchanan says, I think he and the ATM are transgender. Anyway. I think
They're funny people.
I think that's enough of our demonic sexual show.
It's disgusting.
And the assault on children. It's it really is. When you discuss this tonight, it's hard. It's hard to laugh like we normally do.
It is, because these are children that are vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
there's very few victims in the world, and little kids are.
Yeah.
Little kids are victims, and even the ones who are misbehaving and trying to poison their teachers and all that stuff. It
stems from something.
Yeah, they just didn't
somewhere.
Wake up at 12 years old and said, "Hey, I think I'm going to be evil."
Mm-hmm.
There's something.
Somebody's dropping the ball.
Yeah, big time.
You know,
big time. And when you have a godless society that throws away God. Yep. And morals and principles, and they don't want to live by any rules and regulations.
Just do as thou wilt, right?
Yep, is the rule of the law. They're into relativism and humanism. The human is all important, and your morals and your conscience is all subject. It's all relative to you.
Yeah, everything's subjective.
It's situational ethics. It's what the situation would call for. And so when you have no rules, no God, no guidelines, no belief in a God, no fear of a God, no respect for a God, no reason to be moral or live moral, you get America. Mm-hmm. Here we are in America. And we're a little still behind from some of these other nations. Mm-hmm. But we're catching up very fast. Even Brother Marcos said, whoa! You know, I said you guys were about 5 years behind, but you guys are catching up fast. Yep. Our socialist government is becoming more and more obvious that they're into Marxism. And that's the philosophy of the day, the Luciferian Marxism. One other thing I just want to admit, because I mentioned Brother Marcos, I hope he saw the thing I posted on Facebook about the Cuban Democratic congressman who said that, see, communism works. Mm-hmm. He said that in a Google chat room when he was talking about these cities that are right next to the borders being the safest cities in America. Yep. And he said communism works because everybody is employed by the federal government and they're happy. And so this guy comes from Cuba, a communist country, comes here to the United States, whoever endorsed him got elected. This guy is a buffoon. Yes. This guy looks like a clown and he acts like a clown. You can just look at his face and go, this guy is one idiot. He's a congressman. Yeah. Well, and he comes here, comes to the United States, gets in, but obviously he's still a Cuban communist. Who makes a statement like that? Because it comes out of his heart. But the other thing that's funny, he was also caught just recently on film on national television at a I think it was C-SPAN that caught him. Yeah. He was behind some gal who was talking, and he's got his finger just digging in his ear. He's just digging like a mole digging for a worm, Jerry. It's just, I'm telling you, it was 2 feet if it wasn't 10. He was digging in his ear, and then he pulls out the earwax.
And he eats it!
This disgusting commie pig looks at his finger, and then he chomps on it. He eats it on national television.
Oh,
this is a liberal, disgusting, democratic commie idiot.
Ugh.
He's a congressman. What was his? What's his name? I don't know. I forgot his name. He's on Facebook. You can see it. Watch the video. It's so disgusting, you'll chuckle. Mm-hmm. But he's eating his own earwax.
I know, it's disgusting.
And then he's the same idiot that says, communism works. You know? Wow.
These are our leaders.
These are our leaders, man. I hope he doesn't wear adult diapers, because then I'd hate to see what he does with that.
Oh!
Like, it's called relunch.
Oh, gross. Oh.
There's the laugh I needed. There it is. Shabang. Brother Kapow out. Good night.
Oh, good night.
I know you think you're having fun. The party feels so right. But there's one thing we've got to say before we leave tonight. So what will you do when the party's over? So what will you do when the party's over? You're riding high and you're looking fine, and life seems out of sight. But without that beer and without those drugs, things wouldn't be so right. Jesus came to free you from a life of toil and sin. We'd sure like to see you let the Savior in. So what will you do when the party's over? So what will you do when the party's over? Listen, you say you're young and you've got time. The Bible's just not your thing. A few more years won't matter much. You're gonna give your life a flame. But what if Jesus comes back to take his church away? Yeah. Whoa, what if something happens? Do you know if you'll be saved? So what will you do when the party's over? What will you do when the party's over? So friend of mine, please listen. Listen to what I say. Give your life to Jesus and be born again today. So what will you do when the party's over? What will you do when the party's over? So what will you do when the party's over? party's over.